Hi, and in today's Microsoft Word tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a 3-column foldable brochure or leaflet, whatever you want to call it, in Word. So by default your document will open as portrait, so what we need to do is to turn that round to landscape. So if we go up to Layout, go to Orientation, click on the drop down and select Landscape. The next thing we'll do is just adjust these margins. So go up to Layout again, down to Margins, click on the drop down and select Narrow. Now as you can see, my margins have reduced in size, but if you wanted to further reduce those margins, then go back up, go down to Custom Margins, and then in this dialog box you can make all the adjustments you like. So I'm just going to reduce each one to 1 centimetre and then go down and click OK. With this sign you can choose to fix it or you can ignore it. I'm going to ignore it, and as you can see my margins are now set at 1 centimetre. So the next thing is identifying those 3 columns. So if we go up to the Layout tab, go down to Size, and then you can just check that you are on A4, and as you can see the width of your page is 29.7 centimetres. Now it doesn't matter whether you're on an A4 or another particular size, just as long as you've got this measurement. Once you know that, divide it by 3, so in this case it's 9.9. And the reason we do that is that when we fold this leaflet we want it to be really accurate. So we're going to go up to Insert, we're going to go to Shapes, click on the drop down and select this line tool. Then just click and drag with holding down your Shift key to roughly 9.9. Don't worry if you can't get it accurate. Once you're done, go up to this element here, go to Width and then click 9.9 and press Enter. Now if you can't see this ribbon, this is the Shape Format ribbon, it's because you haven't selected your line. Once you've done that, go to this Align tool, click on the drop down, make sure you're checked on Align to Page and then Align to Right. And that line now is taken over to the right hand side of the page. Then what we need to do is to go up, we're on Shape Format again, so you should have this little dialog box here that will quickly identify the Line tool. Click on it again, go to the top of the page, click, hold the Shift key down, which means you'll get a perfect vertical line, and then just draw a line from top to bottom. Then use your arrow key to just move over so that it crosses the very end of this line. Then click back on this horizontal line, go up to Shape Format, go up to Align, go to Align to Left. Then the line will line up with this side of your page. Go up to the Line tool again, click at the top, hold the Shift key down, straight down to the bottom, use your left arrow key to then move to the end of this line. When I then move this line again, so I highlight it, go to the Align tool, click on the drop down and Align to Center, you can now see that all 3 columns are perfectly aligned equally, so that when you fold the leaflet you've got equal sections. So then just delete this line in the middle and then we'll go ahead and input the rest of the graphics. So let's just get started with the first box. If I go to Insert, along to Text Box, click on the drop down and select Draw Text Box. All I'm going to do is just click and drag. Then I'm going to input my text. Command or Control A to select it all, go up to the Home tab and select your font of choice, and then you can use this Increase Font Size tab, or you can just put the figure in if you want to. And then once you're finished doing that, you need to take off the black border and the white background that you will get by default when you insert a text box. So click on the text box, go up to Shape Format, go to this icon here, click on the drop down and select No Outline. Go to Shape Fill, click on the drop down and select No Fill. And there you've got a transparent text box. So I'm just going to reduce the size of it. And the other thing I'm going to do with this text box is I'm just going to reduce the margins on the left and right. So between the beginning of my text and this line here, I'm going to get rid of this margin. And that's because when you come to align things, it will align it to the edge here and not to the text or whatever you've got inside this text box. So I'm going to click on my text box and I'm going to go over to this icon here that says Format Pane. Click on it and you'll get this menu bar that appears. Here you'll find everything you need to change and customize your text box and your text. So at the moment we're concerned with the shape options. We're going to go down to Layout and Properties, and then we're going to go to the margins. So I'm going to reduce the left margin to 0 and the right margin to 0. And then as you can see, the text has moved up to the very edge of the text box. So once you've formatted your text box, you then need to copy and paste it. And then I'm going to double click, Command or Control A, go up to the Home tab. I'm going to choose a different font and then input my text. I'm going to increase the size of this text, double click, go to the Home tab and just increase the size of that text. And then I'm going to copy and paste this text box and then double click and then put in some more text. Just put the date in. Obviously this is all just for demonstration. And then we're just going to change the font size in the Home tab. Just reduce that font down. And then move it over. Then I'm going to grab some graphics. So I'm going to go up to the Insert tab, go along to Shapes, and I'm going to grab a rectangle. I'm going to click and drag, and then we're going to change the colour of the fill and the outline. I'm not actually going to have an outline, so make sure you're on Shape Format and go along to the Outline tab and click No Outline. And then to Shape Fill, click on the drop down and select black. And then I'm going to move this up to about here. And I'm just going to reduce the size of that. And then I'm just going to move this down a bit to about here. Okay, once you're happy with that, we're going to go ahead and insert some images. So Insert, Picture, Picture from File, and we're going to select this image here and click Insert. Now, as you can see, we can't move this around, so we have to sort out the wrapping. So to do that, make sure you're on Picture Format, go along to Wrap Text, click on the drop down and select In Front of Text. Once you've done that, you can move it anywhere in your document. Now I want this image to be 1:1 square, so I'm going to crop it. So make sure you're on Picture Format. If you're not, it's because you haven't selected an item. So if I click off this, you can see Picture Format disappears. Click back on, Picture Format reappears. Go along to the Crop tool, click on the drop down and select Aspect Ratio and then go down to 1:1. Then the black markers will appear. If you want to reduce the size of this square, you will have to hold the Shift key down whilst you click and drag in order to keep the ratio correct. So if you click first, then hold the Shift key down and then drag, it will stay as a square. And then once your cursor is across in the middle, you can just move this left and right to exactly where you want it. Once you're happy, just hit the Enter key. Now once it's a square, you can go ahead and move this now without having to hit the Shift key because it will stay a square. So now I'm going to insert another image, Picture, Picture from File, and we'll take this image and insert. Again, go up to Wrapping, click on the drop down in front of text, and go back up to the Crop tool, click on the drop down, Aspect Ratio 1:1, move it to where you want it, the Enter key, and then just move it down. Now, a lot of this is done by eyeballing it. If you want to align everything, then you can use the alignment tool. So let's say I wanted to align this picture with the D. Click on the text box with the decor text, hold the Command or Control key down, click on the image, make sure you're on picture format, go along to the Align tool, click on the drop down, and I'm going to select Align to Left. And then that's just nudged over slightly to align with the D. So now I'm just going to pop a shadow on these two images. So click on the image, go over to your dialog box on the right hand side, make sure you're on this icon here, click on the shadow arrow, go over to presets, click on the drop down, and I'm going to select this particular preset. Now, once your shadow has been inserted, you've got all these sliders to choose from to customize your shadow. But mine currently is on 4 points, 100% and 60% transparency, and I'm happy with that. I'm going to go over to the other image and back over where the shadow preset box is still available. Click on the drop down and select the shadow you want. And again, those pre-selected values will still be there, so you can just click on that and it will all be done for you. The next thing to do is to insert more graphics, but they are again rectangles, so I'm just going to grab this one and then copy and paste it. Command or Control C, Command or Control V, and then I'm just going to move it down, increase the size, and again, if you want to line it up, you can do. Hold the Command or Control key down while you select everything you want to line up. Go up to the Align tool again, click on the drop down and select Align to Left. And again, that will align everything up beautifully. I'm going to make an additional one of these rectangles, Command or Control C, Command or Control V to copy and paste. And again, you don't have to do what I'm doing, you can customize it, change the colors, do whatever you want. And I'm going to go ahead and insert another text box. Insert text box, draw text box. Okay, I'm just going to insert some random text. And again, this text box now has a white background and a black border, so just click off, you can see that black border now. So again, go back up to shape format, no outline, shape fill, click on the drop down, no fill, and then you can see this is completely transparent. Now, again, I know I keep going on about it, but this is the beauty about using text boxes, is they're so easy. So you can put the text exactly where you want it. Okay, so now onto the second column, we'll just introduce another piece of graphic. The great thing is once you've decided on your theme, then a lot of the things that you create can then just be copied and pasted. And it makes life a lot easier. Again, if I want to line these up, I just hold the Command or Control key down and select them both, go up to Align and align to top this time. And then I'm going to copy and paste this text box because it's already formatted. And then I'm going to insert another image, insert, picture, picture from file. I'm going to select this image. And again, just go straight to the wrapping, click on the drop down and select in front of text. And then just move it over. And again, I'm going to crop this as a nice tall crop. So I'm going to go back up to the crop tool and just click crop. And because I want to customize my crop, I'm not going to select an aspect ratio. Then just click enter once you're happy. And then just move that down. Now again, you can align it with this graphic here so that visually it's in alignment. So I'm going to hold my Command or Control key down, go up to the Align tool and align to bottom. And that will mean that all of this is lined up. Now I'm going to grab this text box again, copy and paste it. I'm just going to move it over here. I'm just going to reduce some of this text. And then I'm going to change the font of this text. So highlight it, go up to the Home tab, and I'm going to select this Brasilia text, which I've used before. And I'm also going to reduce the size of it. And then I can also adjust the size of this text box to fit perfectly over here. I'm just going to reduce the size of this a little bit. And then I'm going to grab this text box up here Command or Control C, Command or Control V to copy it. Double click and put some more text in. Double click to reduce the size of the text. And then up to here, up to the trends one, because we're going to copy this as well. A lot of it is just about getting the different aspects into the brochure, and then at the end we can come back and just line everything up. So I'm just going to get everything in for now. So I'm just going to insert another image, insert picture from file, insert this one, again straight up to wrap text and down to in front of text. Over we go. I'm going to my 1:1 ratio again. So make sure on picture format again, crop tool, click on the drop down, aspect ratio 1:1. And we're just going to move that over to this side and then click enter. And then we're just going to move that over for now. I'm going to borrow a bit of graphic, Command or Control C, Command or Control V. And then some text, again copy this text box. Move that up to there. Another text box, Command or Control C, Command or Control V. And then I'm going to insert a final image. So we'll go with this one and click insert. Again, straight up to wrap text in front of text. And we're going to put that one right at the edge. Just increase the size of that. Now, if everything seems as if it's a little bit too close to the bottom of the document, then obviously you can just nudge everything up slightly. Maybe leave that much space. And this one. And then again, go ahead and align everything. Align to bottom. So now you have an understanding of the alignment tool. You can use it to align things along the sides, the top, the bottom and the middle. The next thing I'm going to do is teach you how to just group stuff together to move them around. So these two images are exactly where I want them in terms of their placement on top of each other. So I'm going to make them into a group. So click on one image, Command or Control key and hit the other image. Go up to Format Picture, along to Group. Click on the drop down and select Group. So now these two images are beautifully grouped, which is a huge asset in Word because it drives me bonkers when things aren't lined up properly and I put things in and insert things and it nudges everything across the page. So once everything's exactly where you want it, it's a good idea to group stuff together. So the same with this element here. Once you've got this all sorted and you're happy with it, I would strongly advise that you grab everything by hitting the Command or Control key and selecting everything, back up to Shape Format, Group, and group it all together so that it's together. Perfect. Now don't worry, once it's grouped together you can just go and reverse the process by going back up to Group, click on the drop down and select Ungroup, and then you can go ahead and edit it. Okay, so I think I'm really happy with this design. Now don't forget, this is only one side of your leaflet. So what you'll have to do is repeat this for a second page so that you've got something on the front and on the rear. But before you do that, it's probably a really good idea that you save this as a template. And you need to save it at this point because you've got this line inserted. Now if you print it now, these blue lines will come out in your print. So save this as a template or save this as a file and then take these out before you go to print. So in order to save this as a template, go up to your file at the top here, go to Save as Template, and here it's really important that you save it to this file here that says Templates. If you don't, it won't come up in your Word software when you open up the software and select a template. So make sure it's selected, name your document, and click Save. So now if I was to close this down, open up my Word software, and if you're in the Home tab, you'll see this layout here. Go to Templates, go to More Templates, and you've got your personal templates and your office templates. Here you'll see your leaflet has appeared in templates, and that's because we saved it in that templates file. Click on it and click Create. Now, the most important thing is you can see that this is now a new document. This is not Leaflet as we named it. So this is a brand new document. So you can go ahead and alter everything in here, save it out as a new document, but your original template is still saved in your Word software. So now what you need to do is just take out these lines, just click on them and delete, and then you can go ahead and save this, File, Save As. I'll save it to my desktop. Now you can either save this as a Word document, or you can save this as a PDF. And generally this is the kind of format you'll need for sending off to a printers, and it's far easier for them to be able to use. So again, name it what you want and press Export. So that's how you save it. Now if you want to go ahead and make the reverse side of this leaflet where you maintain this kind of flow. So if you just click on everything holding the Command or Control key down, then go up to Picture Format, go to Group and select Group. Now the whole of your leaflet is now one group. Then press Command or Control C, click off, then go up to Insert, Page Break, go to the top here, Command or Control V, and then if I zoom out, you have two identical pages of your leaflet. Now all you have to do is to customize the reverse side of this leaflet is just ungroup it. So click on it, go to Picture Format, along to Group, click on the drop down and select Ungroup. And then you have all your different elements there. You can ungroup this side as well. Click on that one, go up to Groups and select Ungroup. So there you have a leaflet. There's two sides to it, but obviously you need to go and change them. But it keeps the general idea, flow and theme going for the two sides. So I hope that's helped you today. If it has, please subscribe and have a great day.